Hi, this is Sherry Veronica. If Leroy Parris does not go to trial, there's nothing you can say to stem the wave of crime in Barbados. If he does not stand trial for the missing Christgau money, if he does not stand trial, at least play the game. At least you need to play the game. If he does not go to trial and have a judge and a jury of his peers decide if he's guilty or if he's innocent, what are you going to say to the gang members? What are you going to say to the young strapping males who enter the old people's homes and try to rob, try to violate them, or when they're successful, it happens? What are you going to say? What are you going to say to the criminals in Barbados? What are you going to say to what you will call the blue-collar criminals? He's a white-collar one. What are you going to say to the other criminals in Barbados when they do their stuff and then you want to bring them before the court and you're putting them, through the judicial system? You think that's going to work? You think you can say that to them, that they should stand trial, when you're deciding? You're actually trying to decide if this guy should go to trial? You're trying to decide if Leroy Parris should go to trial. Why? You mean the police and the fraud squad didn't do their job? Is this a situation where, again, they did not do their job? And you have this case now before a high court judge who has to decide whether he must stand trial on theft and conspiracy charges. The judge is Michelle Weeks. Now, based on what she comes back with, you're going to either have to give her a side eye and know that she's on the take, that some money was passed into her account, or you're going to have to say, well, she did what was right in terms of the general population. You have to look at the population in Barbados. You have to look at what is happening now in Barbados with this whole wave of crime, and you have to be very careful who you let slide. Okay, you have to be careful who you let slide. Yes, he's 79 years old. Doesn't matter. He is responsible for a whole lot of money being missing from the Christgau bank accounts. Okay, he is responsible. He was in charge. How could you not have him stand trial to ask or answer questions? He must be asked questions. He must be able to tell what he knows, and people are supposed to look at him and see and try to detect if he's telling the truth or if he's telling lies, and they base their they come back with a verdict, guilt or innocence. He must go to trial for the sake of Barbadians. He must stand trial. You cannot not have him go to trial for all the millions that went missing from Christgau, and then go after, you're talking about, we're going after all the gun, gun people, and we're trying to track how all these weapons are getting into Barbados, and we're going to do this or we're going to do that, and you're talking out of one side of your mouth. You're talking out of one side of your mouth when it comes to the guys on the street boys and the street gangs, and the gangs and those people. What about him? You're going to be talking about you're going to do this and you're going to do that, and crime is this and crime is that, and you're going to do all of that, and then you're going to decide? You're going to decide if he stands trial for all that money that went missing? you, if Leroy Parris does not go to trial, if this Michelle Weeks, is that her name, Missy again? If Michelle Weeks decides that Leroy Parris, the ex-Christgau boss, does not need to stand trial for all of that missing money, his implications, and all the missing money, I'm going to be backing, the Germains and whoever else. You know the leaders of the blocks and that kind of stuff. You can't stop them, and I should be able to say something about them. I should not be able to say anything about the women who like them. I will be like speechless. What will I be able to say about the criminals, the blue-collar criminals in Barbados, if he doesn't go to trial? What will I be able to say? What will you be able to say if they let him go without trying him for all that money that went missing? What are you going to say? He has to go to trial. He has to stand trial. Even if it's just for the look that there is justice in Barbados, there is a judicial system in Barbados, he must stand trial. And if he does not, you're just going to get worse. Things are just going to get worse. The bad boys are looking at this. You think they don't see this? You think they're not watching this? And they should. They should watch. And they should see who's getting away with the crimes and the millions of dollars they're getting away with. And the bad boys in Barbados, they're not taking in much money. They don't seem to be getting rich from what they're doing. They still live in the ghetto. They still live in the ghettos. So you're going to be after them in the ghettos, and he can't even stand trial? Nah, man. Leroy Parris must go to trial, and there must be members of the jury, members of his peers on the jury. There must be a hearing. There must be the whole session, the whole gamut. He has to stand trial. Leroy Parris must stand trial for the missing money of Christgau Insurance. Okay? This is Sherry Veronica.
Help me spread the word about Naked Departure via social media. Subscribe and share to show support and love for our channels.